Pakistan is in global headlines, and it's for pretty much the same reasons as it was in 1970s and for every democratic government ever since. However, what is baffling is how even in 2025 the country is going through the same ideological political crisis. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been in jail since 9th May 2023 on multiple charges. Corruption case, Tosha Khana classified documents case, Cypher, National Accountability Bureau cases, May 9 riots, which includes terrorism related charges, contempt of court. His family, especially his sons, have publicly expressed deep concern over his welfare. They say they have had no confirmed contact with him for several weeks despite a court order mandating regular visits. The lack of access and denial of medical checkups has sparked fears that authorities may be hiding something irreversible. In response, large protests, particularly in Islamabad, the capital, and Rawalpindi, are being planned. But the government has reacted by imposing security restrictions, including a 3-day ban, Section 144, on public gatherings in Rawalpindi to prevent potential unrest. It's been almost 3 years that the former Prime Minister has been jailed, and despite local and international calls, the situation has not improved. And it's worth noting that this is no way to treat a former elected Prime Minister of a country. His political supporters, family members, and close aides have been subjected to harassment, death threats, and are under constant surveillance from the state. When we talk about the state and the democratic system in Pakistan, we must also take into account the 27th Amendment to the Constitution of the country. One also wonders that if the Constitution needs so many amendments and has been overthrown so many times, perhaps a new Constitution should be put into place. The amendment gives absolute powers to the only institution of the country which has stood the test of times, the establishment. The main concerns for this amendment are the consolidation of military power, especially lifetime status and immunity for 5-star officers, is seen as a major shift away from civilian supremacy and democratic oversight. Judicial independence could be undermined because the new executive has increased leverage over judge appointments and transfers, and the new FCC may weaken the role of the Supreme Court. Removal of fiscal guarantees for provinces may threaten the financial autonomy and resource share of smaller provinces, raising fears of centralization of power and resources. However, what many do not understand is how Pakistan survives under a constant threat of war from both India and Afghanistan. The resurgence of Taliban in Afghanistan and India's adventurism during May 2025 are evidence that trouble at these two borders will continue to exhaust our democratic appetite for survival. Recent meeting between PM Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir with US President Donald Trump at the White House shows Pakistan's keenness in deepening relations with the US yet again, which historically, traditionally, and ironically happen under a strong military government. We are a security base for the US strategic interests in Eurasia via Afghanistan, a power play opponent against India's expanding influence in South Asia, and an equalizer against a rogue Iran. Recently, the escalated tensions between Iran, Israel, and the US are another factor for Trump's attempts to cozy up to Pakistan. Much like Kabul, Tehran's unabiding system of governance has pushed against US influence, and no amount of incidents like Mahsa Amini can dismantle Iranians' nationalist rhetoric. In Kabul, too, the Taliban are being accepted as legitimate rulers and unyielding to the US. And the international community's lack of empathy for the ongoing gender apartheid has undermined the Afghans' aspirations for white saviors. Does this mean Pakistan will again pull back from its ironclad brother China? Yes. The two countries could have colluded strongly under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor had it been designed to favor Pakistan, but that hasn't been the case. Our relationship with China will therefore remain as it always has been, unexplored for optimum potential. As Henry Kissinger rightly theorized, a country's foreign policy is an extension of its domestic structures. Pakistan's policy in addressing internal political turmoil is exactly how it seeks to address changing global dynamics.